Hello, I'm Barbara Gressel with the City of Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. I'm the Deputy Commissioner of the Prosecution and Adjudication Division. This division is the department's legal team. We prosecute businesses for violating the municipal code. What exactly do we do? City investigators and police issue tickets for many types of infractions to both individuals and businesses, including taxi cabs and chauffeurs, valet parking companies, retail stores such as grocery stores and convenience stores, income tax preparers, immigration service providers, motor vehicle repair shops, home repair contractors, restaurants, taverns, and nightclubs. Tickets are prosecuted at the City of Chicago's Department of Administrative Hearings Central Hearing Facility, which is located at 400 West Superior Street. BACP staffs 2 courtrooms every day. Tickets are issued to either individuals or for example, the driver of a taxi cab, or to the business entity that's named on the business license. An individual may come to court to respond to the ticket that he himself received. However, the court requires that any corporation or business entity be represented by an attorney. The respondent is the person or business that's named on the ticket. Either the individual or the attorney is expected to go to the Department of Administrative Hearing on the date and time that's noticed on the ticket. Business Affairs and Consumer Protection attorney will meet with the respondent or the attorney in a conference room that's within the courtroom to discuss the violations that are alleged on the ticket. The department may offer a fine to resolve the violation, may dismiss the charge if provided proof that the violation did not occur, or may schedule a date for a contested hearing before an administrative law judge. Prosecutions at the Department of Administrative Hearings result in a fine, in a dismissal of the charges, or a finding that the respondent is not liable of the charges. If the tickets and fines imposed at the Department of Administrative Hearing by the administrative law judge do not result in compliance, in the business now being a good neighbor, the department may seek additional sanctions against that business, including temporary suspension or license revocation at its courtroom in City Hall in room 805. This process of enforcement, license discipline, takes place again in City Hall. The Mayor's License Discipline Commission is the administrative body that presides here in City Hall. It's presided by licensed attorneys that are appointed as hearing officers by the Business Affairs and Consumer Protection Commissioner and the local Liquor Control Commissioner. The hearing officers are independent triers of fact who make recommendations to either the Liquor Commissioner or BACP Commissioner. The recommendation may, again, be a dismissal of the charges, a temporary closure of the business, fines, or even license revocation. The business may then appeal any adverse decision to the Liquor License Appeal Commission that's located in the Daly Center, or to Circuit Court. Different types of businesses may cause problems for the neighborhood, for people visiting or living near that establishment. For example, The sale of tobacco products at convenience stores and filling station mini-marts may bring unwanted traffic, loitering, trash, and even illegal activities to neighborhoods, such as the sale of unstamped or single cigarettes. Nightclubs and bars may bring late-night noise, intoxicated patrons, trash and debris, traffic and parking problems, and possibly even criminal activities into a neighborhood. An example of this would be shootings or other types of violent behavior. What kind of tools does the department, BACP, have to deal with these problem businesses? City investigators respond to complaints regarding a business and can issue tickets for violations. The department can ask the Chicago Police Department to do late night or undercover investigations. Business affairs and consumer protection investigators may issue a cease and desist order under certain circumstances for unlicensed activity. The department also conducts what are referred to as remediation conferences at City Hall, in which an attorney will meet with the business owner, the alderman, and the police to discuss the problem issues. There's also a tool that we use that's called community meetings. We hold these with community members in attendance, as well as the Chicago Police Department and the aldermen, in order to discuss the resolution of problems caused by the business. We establish steps that the business owner must take to ameliorate those problems. I'd like to explain a little bit more about community meetings because they involve neighbors. We work with the aldermen, the police, and community groups to address these nuisance issues that I've described that can arise from the operation of any licensed business in the city. Our community meetings bring together all of the parties to identify the issues and to strategize best practices to deal with the problems at a particular location, whether it's noise, litter, loitering, blocking the public way, traffic, parking issues, or even criminal activity. After identifying problems, the attorney handling the meeting defines several reasonable steps that the business must take to combat the particular issues raised by the meeting participants. Reasonable steps may even include a plan of operation that details how the business must operate in the future. For example, a business may be required to hire one or more security guards during specific hours, to install or increase outdoor lighting, to install security cameras, or even to change its hours of operation. The department's website includes a list of all plans of operation that are currently have been imposed and a link to each one. Follow-up community meetings are also scheduled to determine whether the business is following the reasonable steps that have been outlined and whether nuisance conditions have been resolved or at least have improved. The success rate for community meetings is very high. However, businesses may fail to follow the reasonable steps, or the reasonable steps don't really ameliorate those conditions that have bothered the communities. And then the business is referred to the Mayor's License Commission for discipline. The department also has another tool that we refer to as the flag business list. This identifies establishments that are poorly operated, and we maintain the focus on each. Every month, we evaluate data from the Department of Administrative Hearings and from the city's 311 call system to identify businesses that seem to be problematic for the community. These businesses are then put on our list and are visited every month by not only the by BACP investigators, but also by Streets and Sand, by the Department of Health, the Department of Buildings, to ensure that the business is in compliance with all code requirements. And our goal is to ensure that the business is aware of its failings and to see that it turns itself around and becomes a business that brings value to the neighborhood rather than problems. I'm often asked, what can concerned neighbors do if there's a problem business in their community? First of all, I encourage neighbors to report illegal activities and nuisance behaviors, including the following: noise, fighting, drinking and loitering on the public way, blocking the sidewalk in front of stores, public urination, drug sales, gambling, prostitution, vandalism, and intimidation of the public. Call 911. Urge your neighbors to call 911 to report these conditions. Calls to 911 provide law enforcement and city regulators with a picture of what's happening at a particular location. Neighbors should not be concerned that their complaints are not true emergencies. Those 911 operators will properly triage your phone calls so that emergencies are responded to first. But we will have your calls in a database. We will be able to access the numbers of calls about a particular business, and we will be able to address those kinds of concerns. Calls to 311, the city's service request number, provide additional data to city regulator. You should call 311 to report nuisance conditions and bad business practices, such as outdated food, overcharges, the sale of unstamped or loose cigarettes, and unsanitary conditions at a store, like unsanitary handling of food or insects or rodent infestation. You should document the nuisance conditions that you see. Take a picture around the business. Show us what the trash and litter outside looks like, the overflowing dumpsters, windows that are covered with signage, loitering and blocking the public way. Be sure to note the date and time that you took the photo. And keep track of what time of day and days of the week that those nuisance activities occur. Neighbors should also attend CAPS meetings. You can contact your local CAPS office to inform them about a problem business in your neighborhood and to provide details about the issues. You should attend those bi-monthly CAPS meetings to share your concerns about the problem locations. Business owners are also encouraged to attend the CAPS meetings. They need to hear how their conduct of the business impacts their neighbors. Business owners can also be helpful partners when dealing with community-wide issues. And finally, you should support your good businesses and owners that partner with the community. BACP also urges neighbors to work with their alderman's office to report and discuss problem businesses. Be sure that the alderman and his or her staff knows about the illegal activities or nuisance conditions that occur at any business in his or her ward. The alderman may reach out to the Chicago Police Department for assistance, may talk directly with the business owner, or may contact BACP. And we respond then to the alderman by either scheduling a remediation conference or a community meeting. You can organize with your neighbors and request that BACP begin the public nuisance process. Letters from 5 residents, the alderman, or the police district commander sent to the BACP commissioner or the local liquor control commissioner will initiate a BACP nuisance investigation. And finally, you should attend meetings and court hearings to make your voice heard. The department's goal is not to have empty storefronts. The department's goal is to have businesses that bring value to their communities and are successful and bring not only value to the communities, but to the owners. I hope that this conversation has informed you about what the Prosecution and Adjudication Division of BACP does. Please contact our office if we can be of assistance. Thank you.